tuning in for an episode of Math with Mullins. We are looking at our 5.5 through 5.7 quiz review. We're going to go and jump right in just because got a lot to do here. This is a right triangle, so we're going to be able to use that Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared, or 6 and 8 are my a and b, and x is the c that is missing. So I'll be able to do 6 squared plus 8 squared equals x squared. That'll be 36 plus 64. Add those together, I get 100. Then my final step is to square root it. So 10 is equal to x. Onward to number 2, same type of deal here. 8 and 15 are my a's and b's. C is the one that is missing. 8 squared is 64, 15 squared is 225. I'm going to add those together. 64 plus 225 is 289. And finding the square root of 289 will give my answer of 17. Number 3, same deal. 9 squared plus 12 squared equals x squared. I've got 81 plus 144 first equals x squared. 81 plus 144 is 225. 225 is a popular perfect square. We've learned we should get x is equal to 15. Number 4 is a little bit different. Notice that a or b is missing, so I'm going to say 12 squared is a, x squared is b, and then 20 squared is c. So I got 144 plus x squared is equal to 400. I'm going to take 400 and subtract 144. I'm going to get x squared equals 256, and then finding the square root of that, x should be equal to 16. Number 5, same thing here, except now I've got some decimals. X squared plus 12.9 squared is equal to 17.8 squared. So let's start with that 12.9. 12.9 squared is going to be 166.41. And then 17.8 squared is going to give me that 316.84. Next, I need to subtract 166.41 from that 316. I'm going to get 150.43. Final step, find that square root. We are going to have to round here. So the rounded number should be approximately 12.3. And one more time with decimals. A and B are given to us, so 9.6 squared plus 11.6 squared is good, equaling to x squared. 9.6 squared is going to be 92.16, and 11.6 squared is 134.56 equals x squared. Let's add these two together. So 134.56 plus 92.16, I'm going to get 226.72. So probably something close to 15 as my answer once I'm done square rooting. And I should get 15.1 as my rounded number. All right, state the three sides if they form a right triangle. Remember, right triangles can always use your Pythagorean theorem. Only normal triangles is when we'll do that. Add the two smaller, see if it's greater than the third. So I'm going to take 9 squared and 11 squared and see if it's equal to 15 squared. 9 squared is 81, 11 squared is 121, 15 squared is 225. 81 plus 121 is 202, and 202 is not equal to 225, so we would have to say no, this is not a right triangle. For this one, we can do 5 squared plus 12 squared is equal to 15 squared. Is it a right triangle? Let's see. 25 plus 144 is equal to 225. 25 plus 144 is equal to 169, and that is not equal to 225, so we also have to say no for number 8. Number 9, though, if you do 5 squared plus 12 squared is equal to 13 squared. 25 plus 144 equals 169. Yes, 25 plus 144 is 169, and since they are equal, we can finally say yes for number 9. 8 squared plus 15 squared equals 17 squared. It'll be my next one for number 10. So I've got 64 plus 225 is equal to 289. Let's see. 64 plus 225 gives me 289. And since 289 is equal to my 289, we can say yes. Sorry about the bell. Next, we've got 5 squared plus 11 squared equals 13 squared. This is 25 plus 121 equals 169. 25 plus 121 equals 146. Since those are not equal, we can say no for number 11. And then this one, we got 9 squared plus 12 squared equals 14 squared. 81 plus 144 equals 196. And if we take our 81 and add 144 to it, we get 225. So this is not going to equal your right triangle. These though, moving on, see how this one was a right triangle, this one's now a normal triangle. So we would take our two smallest sides, 4 plus 5, and see if it's greater than the third. 4 plus 5 is 9, and 9 is greater than 6, so we can say yes, this is a triangle. Again, take your two smallest sides for number 14. 3.8 plus 5.4 should be greater than 9.2. 3.8 plus 5.4 is 9.2, but 9.2 is not greater than 9.2, so we have to say no for number 14. Again here, two smallest sides are 18 and 13. 18 plus 13 has to be greater than 27. 18 plus 13 is going to give me 31, and since 31 is greater than 27, I can say yes. And then number 16, two small sides, 10 plus 20, has to be greater than 32. 10 plus 20 is 30. It is not greater than 32, so I have to say no for number 16. 17 gets us into the distance formula, so remember we want to label x1, y1, x2, y2, and go ahead and plug it in. So -1 minus 3 squared from x2 minus x1, and 0 minus -2, be careful with that minus negative, squared. -1 minus -3 is -4, and 0 minus -2 is plus 2, so that'd be 2 squared. -4 squared is 16, 2 squared is 4. So I'm going to add those together, I get the square root of 20. So the square root of 20 rounded to the nearest tenth would be about 4.5. Up next for number 18, still the distance formula, so labeling x1, y1, x2, y2, and plugging that in. x2 minus x1, 1 minus -1 squared, plus -5 minus 4 squared for my y2 minus y1. 1 minus -1 is 2 squared, -5 minus -4 is -9 squared. So I'm going to get 4 plus 81, which will give me 85. So finding the square root of 85, is rounded to the nearest tenth, 9.2. 19 again, x1, y1 for my distance formula, x2, y2, and plugging that in. 3 minus -1 squared plus 1 minus 4 squared. That's going to be 4 squared plus -3 squared, so I'm going to get 16 plus 9. 16 plus 9 is 25, and the square root of 25 is a perfect square. We get 5. And then our final one for our review, number 20, still labeling x1, y1, x2, y2, x2 minus x1, 3 minus -8 squared, plus -1 minus -8 squared. If it helps you, these double negatives make them positive. 3 plus 8 is 11 squared. -1 plus 8 is 7 squared. So I've got 121 plus 49. And I get 170. So finding the square root of 170 is not going to be a perfect square. It's going to be close to 13. We'll just keep it right at 13.0, rounded to the nearest tenth. That will conclude our review on our quiz for lessons 5.5 through 5.7. Hopefully you found this helpful, and we will catch you next time after our quiz. Have a great day.